Welcome back to another episode of Too Much Pod Tar. Today's Sunday, August 16th. Almost got confused on the day, but as I've been for the last, 5 months since this whole thing has been going on, don't know what day it is ever, but yeah, we're back again with another DFS episode to roll down some guys that we like in for today's slate. The main slate is at 105, 8 games under that slate. But there is concerns with rain. So the Phillies and Mets game. That's the one that's with the most concern. Like 85% chance of rain. And there's also Yankees Red Sox, which is the later game, the ESPN game tonight, which is not the afternoon slate, but that game is also having some concerns. But yeah, that's Mets and Phillies gonna have to look at that one, especially Scherzer being the top pitcher available, and some obvious pitcher that you're gonna want to go for against the Baltimore lineup. I don't know why I said that. What the hell? I was thinking it was the Nationals for a second. I meant to say Wheeler for the Phillies. He could be a good option against the Mets lineup. But then also the Mets can also be a good stack against. I mean, the Phillies lineup could also be a good stack against Porcello. Damn, my brain's all scrambled right now. But
it's one of those mornings.
Yeah, and I got to be at work in like a half hour. So, but yeah, that's today. That's the main game you have to be worried about with the rain. Especially in this slate, there's Baltimore is probably a little bit of a worry too, with the Nationals and Orioles, which I did say with Scherzer. So, but other than that, let's give some picks for pitching wise. If the weather holds up, Scherzer is obviously the top option, as I said, 10,800. He's been great this year, even after leaving not his last start, but the start before with a hamstring issue. Came back with his last start, going 6 innings, giving up just 1 run on 6 hits, 2 walks, and striking out 7 against the Mets. So now he's 1-0 on the 1-1 on the year with a 1.32 WHIP and 2.75 ERA. He's averaging 20.3 points per game on DraftKings, so obviously he's always a good option. And Orioles, even though they're off to a good start, they're still the Orioles. And a horse like that can definitely shut them down. Hello? You still there?
Yeah.
Definitely. It was so quiet, I didn't know if you were there.
No, I was just listening to you. I think Max is in a great spot. It's just like you said, the weather concerns. But no, you can't go wrong with Mad Max. He doesn't really need a whole lot of talking up because everyone knows how good he is. But like the Orioles, usually this season at least, haven't been a team that you really target against as much as in the past because of how well they've actually played this year and hit. So, but I believe that today would be a day that, most teams will struggle with good pitching, and let alone teams that really like the back end of the lineup isn't really much. They're not really deep. It's just they've got good production from some of their key guys like Nunez and stuff like that. So, but he's a righty, and Mad Max could exploit that. The weather, I think it'll probably hold up for that game.
Yeah.
Like the Philly game with Wheeler and Porcello, that game, that's a little bit more tough, I think. But anytime you're talking about a potential delay, it's cause for concern, especially with the starting pitching. So maybe getting away from Max in tournaments and stuff, I think that'd be a fine option. Um, you know, but I probably would still go with him in cash games
Yeah.
for as my SP1.
Yeah, and then going I'm gonna go with somebody I'm gonna stay away from. Actually, is the third guy on here, John Lester, which we talked about his last start a few days. I mean, obviously 5 days ago, and uh, his strikeout numbers are not good. He's only struck out 9 batters so far through 3 starts, 4 walks, and I think he's gonna digress a little bit or digress a little bit today against not the best Brewers lineup in the world, but I think you mentioned last week too that I actually had him as one of my options, but you were against that because just the way, like you said, the same thing with his K rate, doesn't have really, not gonna strike anybody out that at a really good rate. So I think definitely stay away from him, especially the price tag. He's 9,300. I think that's a little too much to go for.
Yep. I agree. I mean, he's a good real life pitcher, obviously. And he started off the season great, 1.06 ERA, the WHIP was 0.65, but you look at it from a fantasy perspective, and we really look for potential with strikeouts. So I don't want Lester at that price either.
Somebody I do like, which is one lower than him, is Lance McCullers Jr. Against the Mariners. The Mariners' offense has, really nobody. So they have, Vogelbach, some other guys, D. Gordon. I mean, what else do they have really? And but Colors is off to pretty okay start. 16 Ks over 20 and 2/3 innings. After he did struggle, the start prior to his last one, 8 earned runs against the D-backs, but his last one he didn't give up any runs over 7 innings, 5 Ks, no walks, and that was against the Giants lineup. So against a bad team, he can definitely do the same thing, because the Giants don't have an offense either, so. I think I definitely want to go for somebody like that for a value pick.
Yeah, I like that call a lot. Like you said, he had that clunker there against Arizona, and then the one before that against the Angels wasn't that good either. He walked 4 in that game, but the last 2, even the clunker, he didn't walk anybody. And we know, I like his strikeout upside, especially in this matchup against Seattle. I think he could exploit them a little bit. And yeah, I'm okay with that. He will be popular. They're favored by quite a bit, and I think a lot of people are on McCullers for this start. But I'm not against it, especially at that price. And if you wanted to go that route in cash games, you could do that, and also tournaments, obviously. But yeah, I'm looking right now for. Well, it's encouraging to see his pitch count too. They're letting him get up to, even with not really pitching much. This is really last year at all. He didn't pitch, so his pitch count getting up to 85 and 90 plus in a couple of these outings. So it's encouraging that if he's pitching well, they're letting him go a little bit, and so I do like that call of McCullers.
Yeah, and then kind of going into, this is kind of going to go all over the place here, just kind of run through some quick things. We're just talking about pitchers, but kind of go into some stacks. There's one stack I like the the White Sox against Daniel Hudson and the Cardinals because the Cardinals swept. Obviously, they swept their doubleheader yesterday. Their first games back after at being not playing after having COVID. But so Hudson did, and also Hudson, he struggled in his only start of the year. 4 earned runs over 4 1/3 on 7 hits, 1 walk, 4 Ks, and 2 home runs. So I think like the White Sox have a lot of good hitters in their lineup that can exploit him. And after such a long layoff, his first start since what was it? It was like when was the last time they even played? I forget. It was a while ago though. I know that.
Not much.
So
they haven't played much. So
yeah, they've played 7 games. So I think that's a good way to go. Like just to kind of go based off of the long layoff and Hudson not putting up the best numbers. Probably could be popular because of that reason, but just have to look at ownership there on a lot of the hitters in that lineup.
Yeah, I like that a lot. The one thing I'm a little leery of is Hudson's a little bit more of a ground ball pitcher.
Yeah.
Not really completely this year with a 42.9% fly ball rate and 50% ground ball rate, but I believe he's only pitched in 1 game. So, but like looking at last year with a 56.9% ground ball rate, 2018 60.8% ground ball rate. I don't know if that's gonna be someone I really want to attack, but with the high potency of the Sox lineup and like you said, the long layoff of him not pitching and stuff, I definitely could see that as a solid angle to go after him.
Another thought too is he probably won't be going that long either because of the long layoff. He'll probably have kind of a pitch count since it's been so long.
Yeah, and he didn't look good against Pittsburgh his first time, and that was what, July 26th.
Yeah.
So, and he only pitched 61 pitches in that game. So I can't imagine that he's going to pitch a whole lot or very deep into this game, no matter how well he pitches.
No. Yeah, and another thing too is the White Sox lineup is like their hitters are pretty cheap. Jose Abreu is $5,000, and he's the most expensive on DraftKings. And then Grandal is $4,800. Moncada's also the same, $4,800. Luis Robert $4,600. Eloy Jimenez $45,000. Tim Anderson $44,000. Encarnacion $4,000. So pretty.
That's not terrible for a high-powered offense as far as salary goes.
No, not at all. And then even you can go down farther. Nomar Marzar is only $3,500. So he's another potential option.
Is he in the lineup today?
Well, the lineup's not out yet, I don't think. So I don't know.
Oh yeah, he is. He's hitting 8th.
Oh, I didn't see the lineup yet.
Yeah, they must have just come out with it.
Yeah. Let's see if there's any other lineups out yet.
There's a couple. I saw the Marlins lineup earlier and the Braves.
Yeah, the Braves and Marlins is out.
I do like the Marlins stack today too, but
I love that.
I can't imagine that that's going to be overlooked very much. I think some people will be on that, but they're very cheap.
Yeah.
Jesus Aguilar might be my favorite play from the Marlins, and I think I imagine myself getting a lot of them going against the lefty. He's been swinging a pretty hot bat this season. He's hitting over 300, 4 bombs, 15 ribbies. And he's generally better against lefties. Let's see if I can pull up his numbers against lefties. for his career real quick. Let's see. Might take me a minute. But, well, this year he's actually been better against righties. His career numbers, though. Yeah, he's a better average versus lefties, 266 compared to 255. And then his WOBA is 341. He's actually about even, but 341 and then 343 career-wise, lefties and righties, 112 WRC plus against both. But I like the way he's swinging it, and going up against Robbie Erlin, I mean, that's just somebody I'm not afraid to go after. I don't see him working that deep into the game.
Yeah.
But he can give up some hard contact at times, and I like this matchup against him.
Yeah, another pitcher I would like to attack was John Means, the Nationals against him. He's coming back after he was on the bereavement list, and then they just played. Even though he didn't test positive, they put him on the COVID-19 list just to give him some extra time. Well, he also had to get intake testing, go through all that protocol, so they had to stash him there until that was done, make sure he wasn't positive. And then, so it's going to be his first start since August 4th. And the Nationals, that stack definitely starts with Trey Turner, who's been on fire. He was my pick, one of my hitters yesterday. He had a home run, 3 for 4 yesterday. And so it's 13 for his last 31. So that's definitely somebody to go for in that lineup. I did mention yesterday he's yet to get a stolen base, which is kind of surprising for him. So I can definitely see that soon. So maybe today. Maybe I'll call it today.
Yeah. It's bound to happen at some point here.
Yeah.
Since we're going with stacks right now, I like the Indians. Their stacks and individual plays. I like the Indians going up against Fulmer and Tyler Alexander. Excuse me. They've got some hot hitters in their lineup like Franmil Reyes. Starting to get it going. He's really heating up here. I like him as an individual one-off, and I like him in the stack. You better include him, I believe. And Alexander in 2019 gave up 318 average and a 362 WOBA compared to a 289 WOBA against lefties. So he struggles a lot against right-handed batters, and Reyes is definitely on that side. And they've got switch hitters littered through that lineup and good righties. So, I like going after that if he's going to be the long reliever, which I believe that's what it looks like here. But yeah, he gave up 45.1% hard contact to righties. I like that a lot. Attacking him, and I like the Cubs against Lindblom. He can get the strikeouts for sure, but he can also give up some bombs, especially to lefties. This season, it's a very short sample, but 5.14 home run per 9 rate against lefties, and a 5.62 xFIP against them. So he hasn't been, and all 4 of the homers he's given up have been to lefties. So I like guys like Rizzo. I like Schwarber. You can stack them however you want. You could mix in like Baez and Bryan if you want. The one guy I really like who's been smoking the ball, hitting over 300 and looking like he's just a post-hype breakout, which is Ian Happ at 3.3K on DraftKings. He's going to be one of the guys I roll with again because he's having great at bats and he's cut down the strikeouts a lot. So Ian Happ's going to be somebody I look to target today a lot.
Yeah, I like that too. Another hitter I like is. Oh wait, never mind. Padres aren't playing in the afternoon. I was gonna say Tatis, but they're not playing. So, because he's been on fire. I do like the Twins again against the Brady Singer. So he faced them his last start, and let's see here. Gave up two earned runs on 5 hits, 2 walks. So wasn't the worst. Obviously wasn't the worst start in the world. I did get the win, but I think the Twins can try to get something more off of him today. Maybe after getting the scouting report on him now, I think they'll be able to do more damage with their offense, and it's at Target Field as well. So I think they can definitely do damage today. He hasn't shown, he hasn't really shown, full consistency yet, fully broken out all the way. And obviously, he's still just a rookie, so I don't because the start before that he gave up 4 runs against your Cubs. So.
Yeah, I like that a lot. We've mentioned it before. You can never really go wrong with the Twins, even if they're in a bad matchup. But this doesn't look like one that they can't handle. I like Singer moving forward. I think he's a nice prospect, and he looks okay to start. But he still has, I think, a little bit of grooming and getting a feel for the MLB level. So I think guys like Nelly Cruz, Rosario, even Kepler could break out today.
Yeah.
I could see that as a solid option to stack for sure.
Yeah, and even Sano, who's he's only hitting 143 so far. He's a guy you can see breaking out today. Just a few days ago, he had a home run. So he has 4 home runs on the year. But he's struck out 30 times, just 6 walks. So he's off to a pretty horrid start. But he still has a lot of power potential. I think he's bound to break out at some point.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Real quickly, there was a guy that we didn't mention for pitchers. I do like Dobnak again in this start. Yeah. I think he's pretty cheap. It's cheap enough to get to on DraftKings for sure. If you wanted to do it in cash games, I don't blame you. I'll definitely have some exposure to him. I don't expect him to be an off the radar type of guy at this point. He'll have some ownership. He's not projecting the greatest in this matchup against the Royals, which is a little bit scary. At least from Fangraphs, they don't really love him today. Only projecting him to get 3.42 strikeouts and 11.53 DraftKings points. But I think he showed enough here on the early goings that I'm not going to stray away from him, especially at his salary. His K rate is really not that good. But limiting the damage and picking up a win behind the Twins offense, which we obviously have some interest in and like today, I think that would be good enough at his salary. Like if he was in the John Lester range of 9.3K, I wouldn't like him, but at 7.9, I think I have some interest there. So
yeah,
I'll fire him up a little bit today.
All right. Well, actually, I have to get going here soon. So try to wrap this up. I'll just, I don't know if you have a home run call.
I didn't have one ready, but let's go with Franmil Reyes. He's been hitting the ball really hard lately, and he was on a 7-game hitting streak until yesterday against Detroit, but he still had a walk. I like Reyes. I think Reyes is going to go yard today.
Yeah. Since I mentioned I'm going to go with Sano. I'm going to go with Sano.
There you go.
So, yeah, that's today's pod. It was, obviously a little bit shorter than that. But, sometimes this is what you got to do. You got to do what you got to do. So, sometimes maybe we'll do this more often, even start trying to do maybe shorter ones, 15, 20 minutes, 30 minutes at the most. Instead of going like an hour or whatever, 45 minutes, it's probably better to go shorter, especially on a afternoon slate. So it's like it's only a couple hours before. So I want to get people their advice as quickly as they can. I mean, as quickly as we can. But yeah, we'll be back tomorrow for the Monday slate, and I'll be writing the article. So I'll be doing that article tonight, and then also we're recording the pod. So yeah, that's it. And just a reminder, you can never have too much pods. Good luck.